Happy day to one and all. I Bhagya NP, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Today I am going to teach you environmental studies. In this environmental studies, I am going to teach you global environmental concerns. So about this topic, what are the objectives I am going to teach you today classes? Groundwater depletion and its recharging, and some climatic factors, that is acid rain and ozone depletion. So first we'll start with the first objective, that is groundwater depletion. So what it means groundwater depletion? So as we all know, water is a main resource for all the organisms on the earth. So what it means groundwater? Groundwater means the water which is present beneath the earth is called as a groundwater. And since it is present inside the earth or below the earth surface, so it doesn't undergo any evaporations and all. And also sometimes this groundwater flows through the underground porous substratum from one place to another under the influence of gravity. And sometimes this groundwater reappears at the surface in the form of spring. The next is, we'll move on to the what are the effects or what is the effects of groundwater depletion. So why the water under the earth undergo depletion? The first point is drying up of wells, and second is if there is a reduction of water in the streams and lakes, and deteriorations of water quality, and increasing the pumping of water and land subsidences. So because of these things, the groundwater depletion causes. Then once the groundwater depletion is happened, how to recharge that groundwater? Recharging means filling that. So the groundwater recharging, it is a hydrological process where the water moves downward from surface water to the groundwater. Or else the groundwater can be recharged by rain. So by rain, if the water is recharged, that is a natural process. That is not a man-made process. The next we'll move on to the Indian water policy. Indian water policy, it is formed by the Ministry of Water Resource and the Government of India to govern the planning and development of water resource and their optimum utilization. And this was established in 1987, and later it was updated in 2002 and in 2012. According to this committee, what are the policies they made it? So according to this national committee, the policies are there: planning and recycling the resources for providing maximum availability, and they gave more importance to the impact of projects on human settlements and environment, and they gave more guidelines for the safety of storage dams, regulating groundwater, setting water allocation priorities in the following order: drinking water, irrigation, hydropower, navigation. So these are the policies they made it, and according to that, the committee is working on this. The next we'll move on to the some climatic changes. So in that climatic changes, the first is acid rain. So what is that acid rain? Acid rain means it is a more acidic. So usually water, rainwater, it is normal water, means that pH is neutral. So if the pH is in between 6.5 to 8.5, that we call it as a neutral pH. If the pH is below 7, that we call it as an acid. So acidic rain means if the rainwater pH is less than 7 or less than 6.5, that we call it as a acidic rain. So how it caused? So the main cause of this acidic rain is presence of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides in the environment. So how this sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides present or goes to the environment? Because of the human activities. The main cause is because of human activities. So example, industrial. In this diagram or in this picture, you can see it. The industrial or industries, when they releases the gases to the atmosphere, suppose if that gas consists of dangerous gases like sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, it directly enters to the atmosphere, and in the atmosphere those gases reacts with the moisture, that is hydrogen or water, and it forms the sulfuric acid and nitric acid. And this formed sulfuric acid and nitric acid, again it comes back to the earth in the form of rain. And that rain pH is below 7, and that rain we call it as a acid rain. What are the effects of this acid rain? So on human beings, because of this acid rain, it destroys respiratory system, digestive system, and also it affects to the our central nervous system. And sometimes it also causes premature babies, and it brings some lungs disorders to the human beings. On buildings, what is the effect of this acid rain? So because of this acid rain, buildings may get corroded. Example, Taj Mahal, statues, bridges, houses. So why? Because all the things are made up of the metals or some materials. So when these react with the acid and there is a continuous interaction between acid and the environment, there is a possibility of formation of corrosive product on the surface of the houses, bridges and metals. So in that way, the buildings undergo corrosion. So this is the effect of acid rain on the buildings. Then, how do we control this acid rain? How do we control this acid rain? As I explained, acid rain is because of mainly because of release of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. The main source of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides is factories and sometimes vehicles. So in that case, what we should do is, so in the factories, in the factory chimneys, we have to fit scrubbers. So what it will do, this scrubbers, so it filters the gases and it releases the smoke to the atmosphere which is free from sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. That is one way of controlling the release of sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen into atmosphere from the factories. That is by fixing the scrubbers in the chimneys. And the second way is in the vehicles by fitting some special converters. So in the vehicles, if you fit converters, so what it will do is it will convert the dangerous gas into some non-dangerous gas. So in that way, we can avoid the release of dangerous gases to the atmosphere. And the next to two axes, it's under government. That means government should spend more money on the pollution control. Means in what are the way we can control the pollutions, and what are the acts we could bring it, and what are the acts people can follow it in order to control the pollutions. On all this, government should work on it. And also, governments should give an opportunity to do research on the different ways of energies. Means priority to the research and priority to the finding the alternate energy sources, so that there is a less use of gases, that is petrol, diesel and all. So in that way we can control the acid rain. The next is ozone layer depletion. So you might have heard about this ozone layer. Ozone, we know that this is present in our atmosphere. So in the atmosphere, four layers are there: stratosphere, troposphere, mesosphere and ionosphere. So we are all living in a stratosphere. So same way ozone is also present in the stratosphere. Then what is the formula of ozone? Ozone means O3. O3 means one oxygen atom and two oxygen molecules. When these two combine with each other, it form a O3. And we know the use of this ozone layer. So this ozone layer prevent the direct approach of our sun rays to the earth. So the sun rays carries ultraviolet radiation, microwave radiation, gamma rays, beta rays and all. So the main purpose of presence of ozone layer is it is a barrier between sun rays and earth. So it protects the direct approach of sun rays to the earth. How this ozone layer undergo depletion? The next point. So in what way the ozone layer undergo depletion? So the main reason for depletion of ozone layer is presence of chlorofluorocarbon. So where do we find this chlorofluorocarbon? This chlorofluorocarbon is found in a air coolants, especially refrigerators, AC, and also it is present in some solvents, and sometimes nowadays this may also used in some soaps and all. So what happens when these chlorofluorocarbons, which is present in the refrigerator, and also some halogens which is present in the sprays, it may be a heat or perfumes, deodorants, in that and all halogens are there and some very minute quantity of chlorofluorocarbons are. So when you spray it, so these uh, chlo- sorry, chlorofluorocarbons and halogens, it releases to the atmosphere, and once it releases to the atmosphere, the main it causes, it affects to the oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. So these chlorofluorocarbons break down the ozone molecules, and it makes a holes on that we could see it in this picture. See, in the 2000, this is the analysis done by NASA. So now you can see holes in the ozone. So in the 2014, hole is very less because of less release of chlorofluorocarbon. But as the year passes, the holes in the ozone layer is increasing because of more release of chlorofluorocarbon. So what is the main effect of this? What's the causes of this ozone layer depletion? The main is it causes skin cancer to the human, and also it damages our immune system. And because of this direct approach of sun rays to the earth, sometimes it alter our cataract eye alignment in the humans, and also sometimes it restricted the growth of the child. Then how to measure or how to prevent this ozone layer depletion? So preventive is we have to use eco-friendly products and we try to avoid using pesticides and try to avoid using sprays, perfume and deodorant. Whenever it's really necessary, then only we should use it. And banning the products which are mainly depend on the nitrous oxides. Instead of that, we have to use eco-friendly acids or eco-friendly products. By doing so, we can prevent the ozone layer depletion. And also, we have to avoid the consumption of gases and minimize the use of cars. Means minimize the use of cars means try to avail the public properties, public vehicles. Use the public vehicles instead of using private vehicle. Use the public vehicles like bus, car, metros. So in that way, we can reduce the pollution and also we can reduce the release of gases to the atmosphere. And do not use the cleaning products because the cleaning product sometimes it contains very minute quantities of the dangerous gases. So that's why you have to use the eco-friendly products. And also always buy a local products and don't buy a products from the far distance. So if you buy any products from the far distance, what happens in order to reach the products to you from far distance, it may take a longer time. So in during that long time, they have to keep the product very safely. So safety can be done by proper packing. So in that way, sometimes packing or keeping something in a packing for a long time that also hazardous to the environment, and that also sometimes releases to the gases to the atmosphere. So in that way, we can prevent the ozone layer depletion. So that's all about today's topic. Thank you.